I like to introduce Joey Only. Say hi, Joey Only.
Hi.
Say hi, Joey Only.
Hi, Joey.
I'm Frank Adult. You're listening to Community Meteorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. And Joey Only's a nice guy. He fights fires in Wells, British Columbia in the summer months. And I'm on Joey Only's show every Thursday night. It's Community Meteorology, Community Plus Meteorology. That's Caribou Weather Dudes on CFUR 88.7 FM, Prince George, CKUW 95.9 FM, Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops. It's on Rogers, Spotlight TV, Victoria, British Columbia. I'm on Joey Only show every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Joey Only's a really nice guy. He fights fires in Wells, British Columbia. Best luck, I'm Frank. You listen to Joey Only show every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. It's on the Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel. Say hi, Joey Only.
Hi.
Hi, Joey Only.
Hi, Joey Only.
Well, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather we got. Wait a minute. Well, whether it's cold, whether it's hot, Frankie's got the weather, whether or not. There it is.
Good morning, Prince George. Good afternoon, Winnipeg. Hello, Kamloops and Rogers TV viewers on Vancouver Island. This is the Comedeorological Report. I am Joey Only. This is your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada and beyond. We are becoming more international by the week. Of course we are, because the weather knows no borders and no boundaries. Yes, comedy plus meteorology. Your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. You're hearing us on CFUR 88.7 FM in Prince George, CKUW 95.9 in Winnipeg, and CFBX 92.5 Kamloops, plus Rogers Television in Vancouver Island. I'm here with my panel of meteorologists, including Frankie McDonald, the star of the show, the man out there in Sidney, Nova Scotia. We'll be talking with him in 1 minute's time. We've also got, of course, Brandon Houck from the radio stations of Brooks, Alberta, and beyond. He's the radio man, weatherman of Western Canada himself. He's wonderful. He's back, as always, every week with Western Canada weather. And we got meteorologist Chris Calais and Mark Ingalls here with us again from down in Portland. Imogen Cookie-Bailey, our associate producers down in Victoria. And Hilding Donaldson, the cowboy, is out in Grassy Plains. I think that's everybody. Wow, let's go. Frankie McDonald.
Frankie, the weatherman. Frankie, the weatherman. Who? Frankie. Who? Frankie. Ladies and gentlemen, Frankie.
How you doing so far, buddy?
I'm doing great so far. Sidney, Nova Scotia is still under a state of emergency. They're clearing the snow away and things like this.
Yes, how much snow did you get in Sydney this week, Frankie? Tell us
150
everything.
to 160 centimeters of snow. I took a video of myself earlier in the week.
Okay, I'll cue that up. Tell us more, Frankie.
That means there was a lot of snow in Sidney, Nova Scotia. It was really, really bad.
What did
It
you
was
do?
mighty bad in Sidney, Nova Scotia right now. And it brought so much snow. It's a multi-day snow event started on Friday evening, continued through Saturday and the Sunday. It was really bad. In my hometown of Sidney, Nova Scotia, Canada, it was so bad. Causing so much snow. 150 centimeters of snow falling in 3 days. It was mighty bad. That was my latest video on my YouTube channel. It was really, really bad. That was one of the biggest snowstorms since 1917 in my hometown, Sidney, Nova Scotia. Los Angeles had so much rain because atmospheric river. Los Angeles had the most of the rain to anywhere else in California. It was mighty bad. Brought so much rain, caused mudslides, landslides, and Los Angeles, California, surrounding areas. So it was mighty bad there. Caused a flood and things like this. I was watching extreme meteorologist Reed Timmer on Sunday online. He was traveling to west of Los Angeles, things like this. He headed to Los Angeles, things like this, chasing a storm. Reed Timmer was in Los Angeles. It was really bad. So much fires going on in Chile lately. Then it got some stormy weather headed for Texas and Oklahoma and things like this. In central states. And it's going to bring lots of cold weather all across Manitoba, Saskatchewan next week. Then it got some really cold weather heading back to Alberta once again.
Even Joe Stover's showing up.
Yes.
Howdy.
What else is going on in the world, Frankie?
And did you hear about this down South America? A lot of fires burning in Chile right now near Santiago, Chile. A lot of thunderstorms and rain going on in Central America and Brazil and South America, like Brazil, Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, Bolivia, and lots of thunderstorms and rain going on in eastern Peru right now. And western Peru is dry. And Chile, northern Chile is really, really, really dry right now. and blowing sand and desert as of right now. Forecast all across Europe. Lots of rain going on in England and snow up in northern Scotland and things like this. There's another big storm over in heading towards Europe as well. And a lot of rain going on in Spain this weekend coming. So much rain hitting in part of Spain. It's hitting Morocco too. And then it got some cold air hitting for Spain as well in Portugal, Morocco, and Algeria. There's a lot of rain going on in Croatia, Bosnia, and Albania, parts of Greece. It's headed towards Turkey. Lots of snow going on in Finland, Sweden, Norway, and things like this. And Sochi, Russia's mild and normal temperatures. And they got some brief mild air in Moscow, Russia, then cold air fights back again. And up around places in Japan. Lots of stuff. It's really cold in Tokyo, Japan. It's snow in Sapporo, Hokkaido, Japan. And South Korea is really cold. So is North Korea, Vladivostok, Russia. Siberia is extremely cold right now. Once again, in the month of March, Siberia will gradually warm up like Yakutsk. And places like in China, like Wuhan, China, and it's getting cold air, warm air fighting each other. Beijing, China, right now. Cold air, warm air fighting each other in China. Lots of rain, thunderstorms going on. Indonesia right now, they're getting a little bit of rain in the Philippines. It's dry season in Thailand right now. Vietnam, Laos. It's really hot and dry in Thailand. And Indonesia's in the rainy season, bringing a lot of thunderstorms and rain in Indonesia right now. That's what Julia, the base guy show, is at right now. And over in Indian Ocean, it's really dry in Sri Lanka. Then it gets a little bit of rain and thunderstorms hitting. Then it got a cyclone developing. It's in the Indian Ocean. It's a powerful cyclone. They have to watch container ships around that area have to monitor that situation. And up around South Africa, lots of rain, thunderstorms going on. La Reunion and Mauritius Islands and Mozambique and Madagascar. And lots of rain, thunderstorms going on in Zimbabwe, Zambia, Southern Congo, and Angola, and all those places right now. In Southwest Pacific, there's lots of rain and thunderstorms going on in Northern Australia. Then it got some rain fighting each other and dry, warm air, cold air fighting each other in New Zealand because their fall starts on March 19th. Their autumn starts.
Anyone have questions for Frankie McDonald this week?
As for Antarctica, and I seen a latest comment from Mike Post of Antarctica. He's going back to McMurdo Station next week. He got to fly to New Zealand. He got to go back from the United States. He got to fly to New Zealand. Then he got to fly to McMurdo Station. And the Arctic is still 24-hour darkness. Daylight starting to gradually come up in the Arctic as of right now.
I have a question for Frankie.
Hey, Joe Stover. Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you. My question for Frankie is, how much snow did you guys get in Cape Breton, and did you have to shovel any of it?
Yes, quite a bit of it. 150 centimeters of snow. And Los Angeles had so much rain as well.
Frankie had the storm of the century there, didn't he?
Yeah.
Should we watch your video, Frankie?
Yes.
Okay, this is Frankie's latest video. Two of his latest video. First is the one before the snowstorm, and then the one right after. Here you go, everybody.
Major snowstorms head towards Nova Scotia on Monday, January 29th, 2024. It's going to bring up to 6 to 12 inches of snow, which is 15 to 25 centimeters of snow, especially in Halifax, Shelburne, Yarmouth, and Digby, Wolfville, and Kentville, and Amherst, and those places, Detroit, including Sidney and Cape Breton Island. It's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be pretty strong. It's going to cause blowing, drifting snow, reduced visibility, dangerous and treacherous driving conditions, especially on 104 Trans-Canada Highway and Highway 102, heading towards Halifax, Ventura, Nova Scotia. It's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be pretty strong. It's going to cause snow drifts, blowing, drifting snow, especially in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, Yarmouth, Shelburne, Lunenburg, Liverpool, Chester, Bridgewater, and all those places. It's going to bring a lot of snow. Winds are going to be pretty strong. And streets, roads, highways, and Trans-Canada Highway will be snow covered, including PEI ferries going to be interrupted in. It's going to bring a lot of snow drifts on the Confederation Bridge. From New Brunswick to PEI, it's going to affect Calais, Maine. It's going to affect Portland, Maine, and the coast areas of the state of Maine, and Lewiston, Maine, and all those places as well. It's going to hit Fredericton, New Brunswick, Moncton, New Brunswick, St. John, New Brunswick, St. Stephen, New Brunswick. It's going to bring a lot of snow in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, including Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, Summerside, Prince Edward Island, Cavendish, Prince Edward Island, Borden, Prince Edward Island, and the surrounding areas as well. People in Nova Scotia, be prepared. Have your winter boots ready, winter jackets ready, hats and gloves, scarf and ski pants is ready. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food. Buy cases of Pepsi, buy cases of Coke. Do it grocery shopping. Don't wait till the last minute. Do it right now. Make sure you have your smartphone, cell phone, laptops, tablet charge. Have your 3G, 4G, 5G, and LTE ready as well. When you drive a car, take your time, drive a car, slow down, so we don't get in car accidents. We go for a walk. Be very careful walking to the adults slip and fall. Make sure your furnaces and heat pumps ready. Turn on your furnaces and heat pumps to keep those warm. Drink lots of green tea, white tea, red tea. Drink lots of green tea, keep warm. Have extra blankets ready to keep you warm as well. Make sure if your shovels, snow scoops, snow blowers, snow plows, salt trucks ready as well. If everybody lives in Nova Scotia, be prepared for a major snowstorm on Monday, January 29, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't take on a major snowstorm.
So that was, you can see there wasn't much snow there.
Hey everybody, it's Frank down Sidney, Nova Scotia, as 150 centimeters of snow on the ground. It was really bad. It snow started on Friday evening, lasted through Saturday and Sunday. It was a 2-day blizzard conditions had to happen in Sidney, Nova Scotia on Saturday, and the Sunday started on Friday night. And Sidney, Nova Scotia is under state of emergency. As of right now, I'm doing great so far. Things are going great. It's confirmed Sidney, Nova Scotia is under state of emergency. Plows around the road, plowing the streets and things like this. It was really bad. They got snow plows currently plowing the streets. Right now, they're trying their best in my hometown, Sidney, Nova Scotia. It was so much snow that happened in my hometown. See you soon. I'm Frankendown. What about my Los Angeles forecast?
Okay, we
Big
can come
rainstorm on February 3rd.
We can come back to that, Frankie. Anyone else got questions for Frankie?
What kind of
Doing
tea
great
do
so
you
far.
drink? You recommended stocking up on tea. What kind of tea do you drink?
Green tea.
Green tea? There's so many green teas. What kind of green tea? What's a good one?
And I just sent a community meteorological weather report, my Los Angeles forecast about the big rainstorm. I got it right.
Okay, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. If there's no other questions for Frankie. That one was pretty close. Jeez. Maybe time to get back in the friggin' truck before I get struck by lightning again. Boom! Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I heard you. Brandon Hauk. Time for the Brandon Hauk report.
The Brandon Hauk Report.
Oh, hi. This is the Brandon Hauk Report.
Out there, you're playing hockey. You're playing hockey in Brooks, Alberta again.
Oh, I'm not playing hockey. No, the Brooks Bandits are.
And Brooks, Alberta is now in British Columbia. Welcome to the province. We're glad to have you.
Good to be here.
For our generous acceptance of your team into our hockey league, we ask that you take it a little bit easy on us.
Oh, we'll try.
Like what league in its right mind wants the Brooks Bandits in it?
I don't know.
it's like you're just gonna get yourselves pummeled.
We'll
Okay,
see.
Brandon.
Yes. Okay. So we've got we have an interesting weather this week, no doubt about that. And we've had a pretty good blast of snow last weekend, and after a almost record-breaking 2 days of breaking records last week, we got 13 centimeters of snow on Saturday. It was a really pretty actually Sunday. No, Sunday. Yes, that was Sunday. So 13 centimeters of snow Sunday. Really good snow event. And some areas in the southwestern corner of the province picked up higher amounts, easily 20, 30 centimeters. So not as much as Sidney, Nova Scotia, but we will take it here. No doubt about that. And we've had the fog, we've had the mist, we've had freezing drizzle the last number of days. And that's been the case again today. And it's getting kind of old now, but now that's going to change because we have now that Colorado low that we were mentioning earlier that is pushing into that pushed into Saskatchewan. Highway 1 was closed today from Swift Current to Parkbeg, Saskatchewan, due to the freezing drizzle and the snow on top. So that's been that was a little wild earlier today. And in southern Manitoba, they had the period of freezing rain in Winnipeg earlier. That changed over to snow this evening. And now that system's continuing to push its way through Manitoba. And they've also seen a whole lot of fog and drizzle and gross weather for the last week. I think Winnipeg's been in a fog advisory for 5 days in a row in this past week. So today's the first day they were not in a fog advisory because now that Colorado low moved in, that kind of got the atmosphere moving once again. So yeah, and now we've got this system that's sneaking through this evening. That's going to bring a little blast of snow, maybe about 2-ish centimeters of snow. Yeah, about 2-ish, 2 to 4 centimeters of snow tonight. And then as we move through the weekend here, we're going to see the sun return. We'll see a bit of a westerly flow with the next Pacific system moving on to the BC coast there. That will bring us some milder air for a couple of days, but not too mild, so it won't be near record-breaking temperatures. And then we'll see another round of snow probably in the next week, probably say Monday into Tuesday-ish for parts of central and southern Alberta, and that could mean another blast of some cooler air. So it doesn't look like we'll get too cold, doesn't look like we'll get too mild, but I guess we'll be just right for the month of February.
Boom! There goes the dynamite.
That just happened right now as we're out here. Well, the winds rarely come from that direction. That's what's shocking.
Oh.
Wowzer! Holy! Boom! Holy! Whoa! Bizarre behavior. And it is mad. Oh! Joe Stover, we haven't seen you in a while.
What is your favorite temperature? What is a perfect temperature?
180 degrees.
To go.
Would you say that they're breeding like rabbits?
I would say both literally and figuratively. I think you can say
honk.
That's my kind of goose.
How's Churchill, Manitoba going right now? What are you doing? Have you been refueling aircraft? You up there?
Yeah, doing a bit of that. Mostly getting ready for hosting people to come see the Northern Lights. So our Northern Light season, of course, up here is, supposed to be during the coldest months of the year. And because when it's really cold, there's less precipitation, or, less cloud cover, less precipitation, and clouds are the natural enemy of the Northern Lights. But as most folks across the country have seen, it's been a little more mild than usual. Peaks and valleys, of course, but it's been pretty tough I'll get out of it, kitty. Yeah, good kitty. So it's been far more cloudy than normal. So we're getting folks up here to check out the lights, and it's been a little hit or miss because, around this time of year, it should be, minus 25 and lower usually. And we've been anywhere between, minus 20 and, it was plus 2 last week. And it's bananas, and, El Nino and all of that, and climate change and all of that. So it's been a little goofy, but forecast calls for a bit of cold over the next week at least, so that's good. Tom Cochran's here tomorrow. That's kind of cool. Yeah, our Winterruption Churchill is happening this weekend, so we're getting some cool musical acts. Boy Golden's going to be here as well, which I'm really looking forward to. And yeah,
it's too bad people in Churchill can't relate to his songs. He'd be like, "Life is a highway," and they'd be like, "What's that?"
Yeah,
there is active aurora expected on February 10th. And there's a little bit going on tonight, but nothing spectacular right now up above.
Yeah, nothing too crazy, but it is a clear sky, and that's kind of exactly what we want. Can't stay too long myself. You don't mind if I kind of do a little CKUW pitch, do you?
I was really hoping you would, because Fund Drive is coming up for CKUW.
Correct, and at the time of this airing, which is on Mondays at noon on CKUW, we are right in the middle of the 2024 Fund Drive. So as Joey and everybody else here knows, Campus Community Radio is where you're going to find the Comedeorological Report. You're not going to find it on, Powered 98 or, whatever else. The Bear, 108, The Bear. No.
Or on Fox News.
That's yeah. Don't get us started, right? So yeah, campus community radio like CKUW and the other stations that air this program. A big part of them being able to do their job is through listener support. And if you're listening on the air right now, it's probably not by mistake. You know, you're tuned in because you want to listen to this type of programming. And so,
well, we know the meteorology department of the school is all addicted to our show, right?
Absolutely, they are. So, you know, if you head over to ckuw.ca, you can kind of see what how you'll be able to support us at the station. Or you know what, they got people on the phones. You got questions with people on the phones. So if you're in Winnipeg and you're listening right now, 204-774-6877. They're ready to talk to you. They're ready to talk to you, and there's no pressure, anything like that. It's but you know, if you want to keep hearing shows like this incredible show that Joey and Frankie have, plus their fantastic array of guests and regulars and stuff like that. We know if you're listening to this program, there's a reason you're listening to the program. Help keep shows like this on the air. ckuw.ca or 204-774-6877.
And that goes for the other stations as well that maybe not having their fund drives right now. But if you're in Prince George, hey, support CFUR. Hey, if you're in Kamloops. And if you're watching us on YouTube or on Rogers TV, maybe ask your local campus station, say, how come you don't have the Comedeorological Report on your show? Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, how'd you think that?
That was awesome.
Then after a hard day of fighting fire, get to stop and have a look at Cascada Falls.
Mark Inglis, I know he's got quite a bit to talk about, including talking about Manitoba. So if he's still around.
Hello.
Mark. Hey, Mark. How's it going?
Hey,
Mark.
Yes, I want to lead off with some hockey stats for everyone. I grew up in WHL land, and the Portland Winterhawks are currently top of the standings for the Western Conference. Of course, my team's the Tri-City Americans, and they are doing horribly this year. Also, my 3-year-old wants to come say hello, so here she is. For the radio listeners, I have a 3-year-old on my lap now. So it's been a week, not so much here in Oregon. We've just had some light rain and some clouds in between. California, of course, it rained a ton. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on California, but parts of California received well over 800% of what they would expect for this time of year over the last week. That line was right along like Los Angeles to Death Valley. So, of course, it's nice to get some precipitation in the desert. I think the lake is present at Death Valley, but you can't go see it because the roads are closed. Los Angeles, downtown Los Angeles has already reached 88% of their annual average precipitation, and there was a tornado to the west of Los Angeles somewhere. I don't remember the name of the town. Up in British Columbia, the snowpack, like has been said multiple times over the last several weeks, the snowpack is not great. I got a map here, but I can't figure out how to share it. So looks like especially lower mainland is well below average. We're talking 50% or lower compared to normal for this time of year. The Rockies are doing a little bit better, but still well below average, right around 50 to 75%. It's right around normal up towards the Peace River, or I think that's the Peace River up there. Yeah, Peace River and mountains surrounding it. That's a little bit closer to normal, so that's a little bit nice with that big reservoir up there that BC Hydro uses for power generation. It looks like western coast of the continent is going to be drier than average, but I think still some showers, especially along the coast. The storm track that was aimed at California is now going to be aiming at oh, you see my daughter here telling my wife to be quiet even though she's not saying anything. So it looks like the storm track's going to be aimed at the Sierra Madre in Sinaloa and Durango states of Mexico. That's really great because they have a significant drought going on there. It's been, I think, several years now that that's been ongoing in the prairies over the weekend and into the start of next week, or the start of this week if you're listening in Winnipeg on Monday. It looks like they'll be above average for temperatures, not as extreme as last time we chatted. But there is some hope. Look, he's waving at you. There is some hope because it looks like the models are favoring a large upper level low dropping out from the Arctic across the Hudson Bay. That'll bring some cooler weather to the prairies, but the modeling is favoring the real extreme cold being more towards Ontario, Quebec, and the Maritimes. So Frankie might get a little bit of that. We'll see. That's still like a week and a half out or so. And then the volcano in Iceland, southwest of Reykjavik, started erupting again on the 8th. That was pretty exciting. This eruption is the third in a series that started in December. The eruption this time is not close to the town. Of course, last month, 3 homes were destroyed by lava flows. This one did cut off a water line, though, a hot water line that is used for steam heat, including at the international airport at Keflavik. The airport is still operating, but without heat, evidently. Outside of Alaska, in Canada and the United States, there aren't any volcanoes expected to erupt soon, but the most recent eruption in Canada was about 350 years ago. That was in northern British Columbia at a cone that I am not comfortable pronouncing because I do not do well with First Nations names up there, but it destroyed 3 First Nations villages, which was, of course, unfortunate. So, if you live on the western margin of the continent, you're in volcano country, but unless you're on a little island in Alaska, you're doing okay for right now. And that's pretty much all I have other than go Tri-City Americans. Hopefully they can finish out the season a little bit better. And that's it.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you, Mark. Who wants to go next? Unless anyone's got questions for Mark.
I was just going to mention to Mark, don't be shy. Tell us about your Lord of the Rings EDM concert you went to last Saturday.
Oh,
Okay, hold on. Did I hear that right? Lord of the Rings EDM.
Yes.
Oh,
So, like
Elijah
in December, I saw online that Elijah Wood, who played Frodo in Lord of the Rings, was going to be playing at one of the nightclubs here in Portland. And I've never been to a concert before, but I thought that would be a good time to give it a go. So I went, and people were dressed up in costumes. I did not dress up because I felt like in a nightclub it would probably be pretty hot, and so the only thing I'd want to dress up as Golem, and I didn't want to wait outside in line with the loincloth. So I went. It was great. The Elijah Wood actually didn't play any Lord of the Rings tunes, though. The person before him, I think Nora Van Eken is her name, and she did. But he was spinning 80s and 90s tunes with his buddy Zach. Together they're Wooden Wisdom, but they were spinning 80s and 90s tunes on 45s, so that was pretty fun.
That is the most hipster thing I've heard all day. Elijah DJing on actual 45s.
Also, Portland must be the epicenter of ugly dudes landing crazy hot women, because that was just the case for every couple I saw at the nightclub.
That is a fantastic commentary, and that hits a little close to here. So,
well, in my opinion, that's everywhere. Chris Calais, is this true? Is everything that Mark said true?
Yeah, I mean, he sent me some videos, so I do have evidence of his assertions. But he definitely had the better weekend. I was stuck going to Boise to take care of a family matter, which unfortunately killed my weekend. But it's been a great week at work. Joey, we sent you over. We linked you up to AWIPS there. How are you liking that?
I do like the cave system. It's quite cool.
Yep,
yes.
Yep.
So I've already begun to play with it a little bit in my forecasting videos, right?
Yep.
The problem is it's very slow, and it's doesn't have enough of Canada in it. I would like to see more of the Pacific. That would be really sweet as well.
Well, I think, I think Environment Canada probably uses their own system. Probably not made by Raytheon.
Probably a little bit faster.
Satellites. So, anyways, we've seen a lot of good use in our job, and it's great to have the same tools that the government folks have, at least.
What I really like is how you can layer things.
Yep.
And multiples of things, right? So you could, I could put fire weather on, and I could put precipitation outlooks, and I could do multiples of things at once and see how they're interacting. I think that's very cool.
Well, as we figure out more cool things to do with it on our end.
Anything that you got like that you want to send me to help me become a better weather guy?
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Well, we've been experimenting with it this week, and we're already learning some new stuff. So we'll send it your way as we learn more stuff. So.
I would hope Canada has a similar sort of version. Anything else you got for weather, Chris?
Like Mark talked about, quite the arc storm. Well, not a true arc storm, but quite an arc storm into Southern California, with 88% of normal annual precip in Los Angeles over the past week. For the annual total, that's pretty remarkable. I mean, I was telling Mark, that's like Portland getting about 32 inches of rain in the month of January, which is about double what we've seen on record for the month of January. So prolific flooding. I'm guessing up in those hills, there's massive amounts of just mudslides, et cetera, going on. Sometimes it's hard to feel sorry for people in Malibu when their house gets either burned down or taken down by a mudslide, because they're rich, and the eat the rich mentality is strong with us, and but as meteorologists, we also can't help to not think about the loss of life among the animals and the less fortunate in those situations. So, but overall, looking at Mark alluded to this, but looking at over the next week in the lower 48, it's a pretty benign pattern. Also up in much of Canada, it's finally starting to get a little bit more like late winter. I feel like here in Portland, we're turning the corner into what I would call very early spring at this point. Tends to happen sometime in February. Usually, if I don't see anything exciting on the models by mid-February, I kind of write the rest of the winter season off, because our window for lowland snow in Portland really closes pretty fast once you get into March. Aside from, was it last year when we saw snow in mid-April? But that's the exception. Like
we had that 2 years in a row. Actually, we had that in 22 and 23.
Well, I'm still going to maintain that's the exception, because before that it hadn't happened. So.
But we got a little bit of snow moving through BC at the start of next work week, but nothing crazy. It doesn't look like. Doesn't look like in the next 2 weeks anything crazy. This can be the time of year that we really pack on the snow here in the mountains. Yeah. And I'm looking at the forecast, and we're comparing we're kind of right at the same place that we were at 2015-16. We're at the all-time low. We're at the same place on the graph, except when you look at the graph for what happened for the rest of February that year, and you look at what we're expecting for the rest of February this year, they're two different stories so far. I mean, a lot can change in British Columbia, and often does. But I'm looking at the drought situation, I'm looking at the fire situation, I'm looking at, and all these factors. Like the quicker we lose the snow, the faster the province warms up. It's like you try to imagine how much the snowpack just adds to that cooling effect of the province on the whole, right? And it is significant. Here in Wells, once we lose that bit of snow, it doesn't matter how warm the days are. Before that, it can be the really warm days before and after. But when we had that snow, we still end up having quite humid air, and the nights are very cold.
Your biggest factor here is the albedo from the snow. Snow's extremely white, so you reflect like 98% of the sunlight back into the space. And when you lose that, it will warm up. It doesn't matter if everything else is the same in the system. It's the same thing you see with the loss of sea ice in the Arctic. You see more warming of the water because you don't have that ice cover reflecting that sunlight back into space. Then with that water being warmer, you're less likely to form ice in the fall, because it's going to take longer to form ice in the fall because you have to start from a warmer place.
When I look at our fire forecast and our farmer forecast for BC so far, it looks like disaster coming this year. We haven't talked to the farmer himself, Hilding. We haven't talked to Imogen down in Victoria. Who wants to go?
Hilding, you're on mute.
Hilding, you have to unmute.
There we go.
You're unmuted.
Speaking of farmers and moisture, Hilding, talk to us, cowboy.
Yeah, looking at what happened last year, this week, I think it was this week or next week last year that I had a blizzard that blew 4 feet of snow into our family. There's not enough snow to blow this year. I mean, we did have 18 inches of snow, and it all melted away down to about 4 inches of crusty stuff, and that's what we've got. We got 2 centimeters this week, and I'm like, please, can't we get more? Like, we're further into debt for snow this year than we were last year at this time. And we had a drought last summer. What's going to happen this summer?
It's very scary. And even here at, I believe Mark Chris sent me the graphic this week, and we were looking also at on Ontario Weather Wilderness Watchers. Gina Birchwater was sharing some graphs that he had. We're at 57% of the snow on Yanks Peak here. So if you're sitting there in Prince George, you're thinking, hey, we're going to go snowmobiling this weekend. Where are we going to go skiing? Well, there's no snow on Troll Ski Hill right now. And we got the BC Winter Games coming there in a matter of weeks to perhaps when we can't even have Winter Games in the BC mountains. You know, that's crazy. You know, a lot can change. I know with the Winter Olympics in 2010, a lot changed when they're looking at the snowpack at this time going, oh, what's going to happen? But then like 5 meters of snow came after that. Well, we're not seeing that in the forecast right now.
Holy cross! Sounds good. It won't go anywhere tonight. So, yeah, thank you very much.
And hurricane season starts on June 1st.
It does. Imogen, how you doing? What's going on in Victoria? What's going on with you?
Well, it's standard Victoria boring weather. We're going to have lows of 3, highs of 10. That's our February. Everyone else is building snow dudes. We're not. I was literally in a hot tub at the beach last night, walking around because it was comfortable enough to do that. Because that's the weather here. So that's Victoria. Not much to say. It's damp. It's sort of cold-ish. But still somehow beach weather, Canada style.
And Imogen, last week I did a forecast for Los Angeles about heavy rain. I just sent it to Joey only Facebook Messenger.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll pull that up in a minute here. I'll pull that up in a minute for sure. Who's got some weird weather news? Who's got some weird news? Who's got something while I find the next Frankie video? We will watch Frankie's video. Why
That's
not?
where Trevor from Trevor's Happy Hour lives.
What Trevor's Happy Hour do?
Trevor's Happy Hour lives in Riverside, California, outside Los Angeles. He had a ton of rain.
Well, that's good.
He had a ton of rain causing intensive mudslides, landslides in Los Angeles.
Speaking of wild things that happened this week, I guess a truck got blown over, and it was full of Dr. Pepper and 7-Up, littered all over the highway in Nevada.
Brooks? In Nevada.
This is in Nevada. This truck's probably heading for the Super Bowl this weekend with all the Dr. Pepper.
I'd say it's heading for the mechanic now.
Yes, that's where it's going next. The mechanic.
I'll take all the Dr. Pepper. That's my favorite soda.
You had a train derailment though in Brooks, an actual train derailment.
Had a train derailment with 17 to 30 cars. Got they all ended up off the tracks, and I was probably one of the first people to report on it. So that's the other thing that happened this weekend. And what's this other study I found this weekend? Hold on, I'm trying to find it here. This is pretty interesting. So a real-life Inception headband lets you control your dreams. So that's pretty incredible. I saw that earlier this week.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want the Elon Musk brain chip so that I can be charged $5.99 to sleep.
To sleep.
Charged $5.99 to see ads in your sleep.
Yeah. To not see ads, it's 10.
If we're going to follow the Jeff Bezos business model, then yes.
So along the lines of this, I did read an interesting article this week about, I think it was in Business Insider or Wired. But anyways, they were saying how people would be able to essentially work in their sleep. And I was like, who in the heck wants to work for the man during the one time a day or one time a night that they get to themselves, their precious sleep.
I do.
But if
I do.
I do
if they
because
paid me enough,
I'll go to
maybe I
work.
would
I'll go to
I would-
work and I'll sleep and say, man, I'm working.
Yeah, there you go.
This is late stage
Dinosaur at the
capitalism meets Ready Player One.
This is beyond end stage capitalism now. There's got to be another word for it. This is
it's called
cyberpunk
vampiricism.
capitalism. This is cyberpunk capitalism.
This is the vampires
this is
are trying
cyberpunk
to
dystopian capitalism.
The vampires are trying to take over your brain. Okay, should we watch Frankie's video?
Yes.
Okay, Frankie says yes. That's all I need to hear.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station live in Sidney, Nova Scotia. Heavy rains head towards Los Angeles, California on Thursday, February 1st, 2024. It's going to bring up to a lot of rain. And it's going to bring a lot of puddles in the streets, roads, highways, and freeways, and interstate highways in Los Angeles and its surrounding areas, including Long Beach, California, Glendale, California, Burbank, California, including Hollywood, California, Riverside, California, Corona, California, Anaheim, California, Orange County, California, Victorville, California. It's going to bring a lot of rain. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain, and Thursday, February 1st, will not be a good day to head to the beach to go swimming in Los Angeles. It's going to bring a whole lot of rain in the city of Los Angeles and the surrounding areas. It's also going to affect Burbank, California, and Hollywood, California. There will be a lot of puddles in the streets. Avoid the puddles when driving the car. Don't walk into the puddles either. It's going to bring a lot of rain in greater Los Angeles, California, and surrounding areas, including Long Beach, California, Anaheim, California, Corona, California, Orange County, California, Riverside, California, Victorville, California, Glendale, California, Burbank, California, Hollywood, California as well. People in Los Angeles, California, be prepared. Have your rubber boots, raincoats ready. When to go outside, wear your rubber boots, raincoats to keep you dry. Because it's going to bring a lot of rain in Los Angeles, California on Thursday, February 1st, 2024, in greater Los Angeles, California. If anybody lives in Los Angeles, California, be prepared for heavy rain on Thursday, February 1st, 2024. Take care, stay safe. Don't get caught in heavy rain. Stay dry, be safe.
All right, time for an asteroid report. Asteroid report.
This is Frank McDonald, my own TV station live in Sidney, Nova Scotia. The asteroid 2024 BP1 headed towards the Earth on Friday, February 2nd, 2024. It's going to miss the Earth by 2.1 million miles. But the asteroid is headed towards the Earth. It's going to bypass the Earth altogether. Make sure your telescopes and binoculars ready if it's a clear sky that night. Look for the asteroid up in the sky because the asteroid 2024 BP1 is headed towards the Earth on Friday, February 2nd, 2024. It's going to bypass the Earth altogether. Make sure to have your binoculars and telescopes ready to look for an asteroid up in the sky. It's headed towards the Earth, but it's going to miss the Earth by 2.1 million miles. That asteroid is going to completely bypass the Earth altogether. Be prepared. It may trigger earthquakes somewhere in the world. Even the asteroid bypasses the Earth, that's going to trigger a lot of earthquakes because of gravitational pull and things like this. Be prepared. Be safe.
Frankie, is an asteroid gonna hit the Earth?
Oh, so I can get beautiful views of mountains for all of yous. Almost there.
But then I got a major news from Base Guy. And according to the Base Guy, he said, "Hi, Frankie, Base Guy, and Pat, probably this show. Hey, Frankie and Base Guy's friend Pat from Base Guy Show, probably the show will be back in May. He spent $1,000 on new equipment and wires. The construction does not even start until March in his apartment. I'm Base Guy still parking his entire apartment in 2 boxes. 98% of the viewers don't ever tip or support. I produce music and expensive to run studio. So he is under no pressure to return fast, as he played for it all himself. Pat and Stevan, our base guys' friends, are the only ones that actually tip in real life. He is still working 15 hours a day behind the scenes for free. So back in May, he just did 10 years solid and only need this break to fix the studio again. That is a message from Base Guy. And then there's another message from Base Guy. He says, but when the show returns in spring, summer, it will be fun. Then he turned 50 years old on October 19, 2024. Imagine 1/5 of his life was the Base Guy show live nonstop.
1/5 of his life doing Base Guy show. But he's going to take a break. Look at that. Some storms up there by Chaplow. That is freaking close. Oh my God. Fire start. Hopefully this rain puts it down. In Northern Ontario, that's going on right now. So, Frankie, what would happen if a Category 6 hurricane happened?
From Category 7, then it'll be total destruction.
Total destruction. Now there's some talk about a Category 6 hurricane. Does anyone want to field this one?
And it could be Category 7 and Category 8 and Category 9 and Category 10.
I have strong feelings.
Okay, share your strong feelings. We want to support you.
Okay, so here's the deal. The Category 5, the wording for a Category 5 hurricane is that the wind will cause catastrophic damage. Okay? So what's worse than catastrophic damage? The whole point, like, sure, we need another way to describe hurricanes, especially hurricanes that are made stronger by climate change. We are seeing more
What about
of that.
the Category 7 hurricane?
Chris.
Mark, kaleidoscopic damage.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
That's
that's when you see colors.
Yes.
That's the guys downtown here in Portland smoking fent.
Yes, but that's the kind of storm that everyone likes, you know? So
right.
But
seriously, like what more can an emergency manager do somewhere like Florida when they hear Category 6 instead of Category 5? Nothing. Like, you already have to prepare for catastrophic damage either way. You know, if we add a Category 6, then that's going to cheapen the value of a Category 5 because, now it's not the worst. And evacuating during hurricanes is already a problem in hurricane-prone regions because the area that the extreme winds is actually pretty small. You know, you may have a hurricane with 200-kilometer-an-hour winds, and the hurricane force winds will only extend out maybe 40 or 50 kilometers sometimes. And so you'll get somebody who lives 100 kilometers away and be like, well, I got hit by this Category 4 storm and it didn't do anything to me. So there is no value added by adding a Category 6. It doesn't matter if the wind speed is 300 kilometers an hour or 270 kilometers an hour. It's not a good time, right?
Hey, Mark, what about another category, Category 7?
Well, what we should do is we should have Frankie make the categories.
Then have Category 8 and Category 9, Category 10, then the 11th and 12th and 13. Then
yes, exactly.
Category 100.
And Frankie knows how to message for these hurricanes. What does he always say in these videos? Be prepared, right? So we just need Frankie to make the categories. He will make them intelligently. But to change the current category system to add a Category 6 just doesn't add any value to that situation.
What about the Category 7?
Yes, Frankie. We will work together to build a better hurricane scale, and we will have as many categories as you want.
But the tornado scale could maybe use some work.
What about a hypercane?
We measure tornadoes based on damage, and sometimes you have a tornado in the middle of a field that is an F5, but actually it's rated F0. It didn't do anything.
Right, that's a pretty interesting case, but at the same time with the Fujita scale, what's worse than catastrophic damage? What's worse than wiping entire homes off the map? But the reason why, and there is some debate in the National Weather Service and perhaps in Environment Canada, but I don't know, to right now they can only rate tornadoes, like you said, Joey, based on damage that they see. And before about 1999, that was the only way to accurately portray tornado strength.
But now we can measure wind speeds in different ways.
Right. So now today, like I went storm chasing in Oklahoma in, what was it, 2017 or something, and it was just the worst. But and it was the worst because a million other people were there. It was like driving in Portland traffic, but on 2-lane highways. But I saw, they've got the Doppler on wheels, and what the Doppler radar is able to do, it doesn't just see rain, it can also see how fast the rain is moving, and so we can estimate the wind speeds. And so the enhanced Fujita scale is fine. It is, unlike hurricanes, a good measure of the strength of the tornado. We just need to modernize how we rate tornadoes so that if we have another data set available, that we can take advantage of that.
And I mean, hey, the Fujita scale, the enhanced scale works fine for just talking about human interactions, how strong a tornado was that. But if we're trying to have like a greater sense of the climate and what's happening in a bigger picture, we really need to know, what are these storms doing?
I think that's a good point. Also worth noting, the old Fujita scale went to F12 because when Dr. Ted Fujita made the scale, nobody was really quite sure how strong a tornado would get. And so an F12 was wind speeds moving at the speed of sound. There were a few examples of tornadoes, I think in Ohio and Illinois, where the Weather Service considered rating a tornado an F6, but opted to not. But the old Fujita scale did go up to F12. Now it maxes out at EF5 because same thing with hurricanes, like, what's worse than catastrophic damage? What's worse than wiping entire homes off the map?
Yeah, and hey, we got 12 F keys still, so I don't see why we shouldn't have F12.
Right, so the new scale, it's going to go F1 to F12 and then insert, print screen, and delete.
delete just says that's just total destruction. It sucks up the very ground beneath it.
Yep.
Into a giant
Black
vortex
hole.
of it's like it's a thing. It essentially becomes a singularity. It's like a mini black hole at that point.
Got to keep an eye out for Control too.
Yeah, Control Alt Delete. Just don't hit Shift 5 times, otherwise you'll have sticky keys.
I'm a fan of,
and then you can't escape in the tornado. You're like,
right? It's a never-ending loop. We talk about positive feedback loops with climate change. Well, there you go.
I've become a fan of Control Z lately because it fixes all my mistakes in Tableau. So
does that also work in your marriage? Because it doesn't work in mine.
I've told my wife Control Z, and she still doesn't forget it. So I don't. We have to work on it. So
there it is. Bam.
Earlier this evening, I was giving a demonstration of greenhouse gases in action. I was talking about, end the show with this here. I'm going to turn this water into gas. Hey, here we go. Boom! This water is now gas, and that gas, you've been in a sauna before, you know that when you pour some water on those rocks and that steam comes out and you turn that water into that hot gas, that gas transports heat and traps it. You know that from experience. So we know that water is a greenhouse gas, and we also know that methane and carbon are greenhouse gases and can do the same thing. How do we know this? We knew this for 150 years.
Can I just add real quick? What a greenhouse gas does, this is my understanding, is all temperature is a measure of a vibration of different molecules. And, like water will vibrate at a different rate than oxygen and all this stuff. But the warmer it is, the faster it vibrates. And greenhouse gases, they vibrate longer than gases that are not greenhouse gases. So they then share that energy. So CO2, if you warm up CO2 to say 30 degrees Celsius, it will hold that energy for longer than just straight oxygen and the rest of the constituents of the atmosphere. So it literally physically holds heat longer, and that's what we're talking about when we describe greenhouse gases.
I'm, of course, talking about in 1856 when Eunice Newton Foote demonstrated that the greenhouse effect in her own laboratory. There's examples like that going back 150 years where people were able to show that carbon dioxide transports heat. This isn't new science. This isn't new at all. In fact, you can find people back in the 1800s who said this is going to happen.
That steam is another, that steam happens, that things get hot.
Yes, Imogen.
That's what you're saying is not new science, that heat exists.
That's what they said. We've known what greenhouse
Thank you
gases
for shedding
are.
some light on the power of sunlight for warming things in general.
We've known what greenhouse gases are and how they work for 150 years.
So when we were in Baltimore, I was a little taken aback. They use steam heat for the downtown core, and we saw steam coming out of the ground, coming out of the street, basically. And we were thinking either it's magma under the ground or something, because we're from Portland, where we're used to volcanics, or it's I thought it was a car fire, actually, because I heard an ambulance at the same time. But so steam kept us warm at AMS, but generally speaking, it's not a good thing in the atmosphere.
That's right. So that's what the Hunga volcano did. Hunga Tonga Hapai. It put steam into the upper atmosphere, and that gave a temporary warming effect. So that was something with that was not human caused, but we could see a measurable change. So Frankie, how do we find you on the internet? Everyone, the star of the show, Frankie McDonald.
If you want to find me on social media, my blue sky's at Frankie MacD. My Linktree is Frankie MacDonald. My Twitter is at Frankie MacD, now X. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD1984. My TikTok is FrankDonald1984. My Snapchat, my TikTok is FrankDonald1984. My Clapper is FrankDonald1984. My Twitch is FrankDonald1984. My Snapchat is FrankieMCDON. My YouTube channel is Dogs Wolves. My LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. Best luck to you. I'm Frank Donald. You're listening to Comedeorology Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Base Sky Show will return in spring and summer.
And why is Frankie not standing outside A&W tonight doing the show from outside? Because A&W is, you can't find it. It's buried under snow. Sidney, Nova Scotia, completely buried. What a crazy week for Sidney. We're glad Frankie's okay. I messaged Frankie the night of the big storm, and I said, "You doing okay, Frankie?" Because I didn't know if you had power or whatnot. And he said, "I'm doing great so far." As of course you are, buddy. So you're hearing us on C488.7, CKUW 95.9, CFBX 92.5, and watching us on Rogers Television. And also you can see us live stream Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude YouTube channel, and all past episodes can be found there as well if you'd like to go back and find a particular episode. Okay, thank you very much to Brandon Hauk and Hilding Donaldson and Chris Calais and Mark Ingalls and Imogen Cookie Bailey and Frankie McDonald and Joe Stover, who made a brief appearance to talk to us about CKUW's Fund Drive. That's right. You enjoy CKUW, support your local station, support your local college station, even if it's not CKUW. Try to keep them going, because college radio, university radio, it's so important in the world of commercial and pop interests. Okay, anyone got any last thing to say?
Best of luck to you. I'm Frank McDonald. You're listening to Comedeorological Weather Report every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Atlantic. Base Sky Show will return in spring 2024.
Base Sky will return in spring 2024. I'm Joey Only up here in Wells, British Columbia, the top of the Caribou Mountains. We'll see you next week. Bye for now. Good conditions for aggressive fire behavior. The hose will live to fight another day.
I'm heading up.
Is that the staging up there that we were going to? I'm not sure.
The far line.
Oh yeah, fire whirl. Look at that. That is over the top.
She's cooking.
I think that's a forest fire.
Sure.
Could be. Could be true. That is freaking close. Oh my god. Fire start. Hopefully this rain puts it down.